Hey Scorpios, how y'all doing? I hope you guys are having a good May. I'm here doing June 2018 a little bit early, so that way you guys can plan ahead. There's a lot going on in June, as there has been since the new year. First of all, this year is just a major year of transformation. So everybody is making advancements in some way, one way or another. That maybe isn't completely seen as a whole yet, but will be by the end of the year. And that's all as a result of the Jupiter-Pluto sextiles 3 times this year we're going to have. The first one was in the beginning of the year in January. And then we just had one, and we're going to have one again. And so each one is going to push us to a new level of development. But this month, we're going to have Mars turn retrograde, which doesn't do that, but every 2 years. And we're going to have Neptune turn retrograde also. So we're going to have a lot of planets retrograde. And then we're going to have more to follow. To where they're almost all retrograde, because Venus is going to go retrograde this year too. So Mars moved into Aquarius on the 15th of May. And that is your guys' 4th house of home. Okay, and this is family, home, history, roots, past, stuff like that, early childhood. And Mars here really puts a lot of action into home. Okay, you could be reorganizing, moving things around, fighting with family members because we're irritable. We can be aggressive, just getting it done, kind of pushy energy. So Mars in the 4th house of home is really good and best used to remodel, clean out stuff, organize things, because, but try to pace yourself a bit, because you can be very, very aggressive or impatient, really. Worst case scenario, there can be, altercations at home, usually because people are just being pushy or feeling more aggressive in the home front. The Mars experience is about us, taking action. So in the home, it's best used if you use it to take action towards something productive in the home and within the family, spending a lot of time with family, putting your energy into family is positive use of this energy. Now, you guys have a lot of good stuff happening. Jupiter in your sign is always awesome, right? It's in retrograde motion now, so you may not be feeling it as strongly, but it's there, and it is bringing you positive results. Mars in your 4th will be there until Mars turns retrograde, which will be on the 26th. So you guys are going to have your Mars extended stay in your 4th house of home. So some of you might move. Some of you might go back and revisit childhood places when Mars turns retrograde. You might decide to change the inside of your home. Could be a blast from the past type of thing, because the 4th house is early childhood, stuff like that. So with retrograde Mars there, it can definitely be going down memory lane. But it can point to a move for some of you, going back home even with Mars retrograde there. Like if you moved out into another state or something, you might be going home come the 26th. But there's going to be a lot of energy, a lot of effort put into home. This looks like energy if somebody can move and then unload the home. It's just moving their home from one place, and then when retrograde comes, moving to another place, and then when Mars goes direct, unloading things at home. It's kind of like that analogy, but this can apply to family, to visiting relatives, to restructuring your home or adding new things or moving furniture around and just putting effort into your home. And that's where we do it passionately and in a hurry, kind of like just, I want to get it done. So just be careful about being too pushy at home during this time period if you live with other people. Venus is going to actually enter Leo on the 16th. It's traveling Cancer right now in your 9th house of foreign, long distance travel, philosophy, higher learning, expanding your horizons, which can include research. Venus has been there. Some of you might have been traveling. Some of you might have started a new, class or something. Furthering your education with Venus, there are opportunities to further your education. But when Venus moves into Leo on the 13th, you guys are going to be the limelight. All eyes are going to be on you because Leo rules your 10th house of career, and this is where people look at you and admire you and appreciate you, and you get accolades and people talk highly about you and you get positive PR. So you can see a lot of positive things coming to the work environment, to your career, to your prestige, to getting accolades, receiving awards, being acknowledged for your hard work. And that starts on the 13th. So the first part of the month is going to be maybe focusing on, with Venus in Cancer, finishing it out, whether or not you want to learn something new, learn a new language, explore philosophy, whatever. You'll have fun doing it with Venus there. And then come the 13th, everything gets kicked into your prestige and how people see you. It's a good time for career while Venus is transiting your 10th house. And the 10th house is in itself a public house, but Leo is the sign of self-expression and attraction, being yourself, being confident, the sun shining, being recognized. So you guys can get some recognition while Venus transits there. That's awesome. Neptune is going to turn retrograde on the 18th, and it will be in retrograde motion until November 24th. And that's in your 5th house of love and romance, creativity, and self-expression. So those of you that are in a relationship or a partnership that's been confusing, or you're not really quite certain you could put your finger on it, I doubt it. You guys are Scorpios. You can see it all. But Neptune has a really tricky way of making things look quite different than they actually are. So when Neptune turns retrograde, things can be unveiled, so to speak, or we see them more realistically, and this is in your 5th house of creativity, so you can go back and revisit any creative projects you're working on. It also is the house of love and romance, so any of you that are involved in a romantic relationship that's scandalous of some sort, you can find that out. You guys will definitely be able to see things clearer in these areas. It's really good transit for finding love and romance, though, because Neptune can bring you the ideal, but just be careful about falling for the wrong one, not seeing things for what they are. Just realize that Neptune has a way of painting a prettier picture. So Uranus moved into Taurus last month. There was a lot of stuff that happened last month. It was a crazy month. That's definitely a new energy for how you approach things methodically as far as Taurus is concerned. And that's in your 7th house of partnerships, relationships. So Uranus is going to shake things up there a lot for you guys over the next 7 years. You're going to be interested in new, different types of people. You're going to have developed relationships with different people than you've ever thought possible. You might approach your relationships differently. You might want freedom. I know, Scorpio. You might want freedom in your relationships. But it's not negative nor, positive. Uranus is just wants to give you something different, wants to, whatever hasn't been working, let's give you something different. Try this way, try another way, and You guys are a fixed sign, so you tend to stick to your way, and Taurus is the same way, to be honest. But with Uranus there, we're going to be more open-minded to trying different things, exploring different things, experiencing new things, letting go, letting be. So Mercury is going to be in Gemini, which is your guys' 8th house, along with the Sun, which is other people's money, sex, and your house. Secret things, hidden things, research, investigation. So there's usually an enhanced interest in that area, or more time spent in that area, uncovering secrets. You can feel sometimes a little bit, like I need to know something more than usual. There's also illuminations that happen there, so things are uncovered with the Sun there. But overall, that's an energy you guys are really used to working with. So you guys will navigate that transit like nobody. Not worried about that. Mercury's going to actually change signs into Cancer on the 12th. And then it's actually going to move into Leo on the 29th. But Venus is going to enter Leo on the 13th. So a lot of this energy that's been in your 9th house of higher learning is going to move into your 10th house of career. So you guys are going to be the star of the show come mid-month. Mid-month, you're going to be popular, getting recognition, people telling you how great you are, that type of stuff. It always feels good. There's a couple days this month that have a little harsher energy, and that's on the 5th when Venus will oppose Pluto in Capricorn. It can be stressful. You can be frustrated. If you're unhappy with anything, you're more than likely to let your partner know or anybody know. It's kind of all or nothing energy with Pluto opposing Venus. So just be careful if you're in a relationship. Make sure it's something that you seriously want to confront. And try to, deliver it maybe a little softer. It's the best advice I can give you on that one. And then there'll be a Venus-Uranus square on the 14th, which can make you a little erratic, but that's good energy to try new stuff. To just, you might feel a little more independent. You might want to break free that day a little bit. Try something new, that type of energy. But yeah, starting on the 13th, your career is going to be highlighted. Things are looking really good for you guys. The first part of the month, is a little bit slower, but not much. I mean, we do have Venus in Cancer, trining Neptune in Pisces, which is a really romantic day on the 2nd. But it's kind of a mixed bag. There's some tough aspects amongst some really nice aspects that are really going to, there's only a couple of tough ones, but they're there, and they're kind of broken up between the first half of the month and the second half on the 5th, and then again on the 14th. So there's a new moon that's going to occur on the 13th at 12:43 p.m. in the sign of Gemini at 22 degrees. So this is your guys' 8th house of other people's resources, money, banks, institutions, credit cards, loans. So new moons can bring in money there. It can also trigger money that you might receive at the next full moon, which will be on the 27th. When it occurs in Capricorn, which is your 3rd house. So you can get a message about money. Or you can, something in the 8th house matters. Now, some of you might be closing out a loan, paying off a loan, and, some of you might be starting a loan. Something can come to a head to where you have to deal with it because new moons are kind of finalizations. Or like, you know what, this is here, take care of it. But it's going to definitely put a lot of focus into intimacy, other people's money, secrets, hidden things, all that stuff. So a lot can be uncovered also But yeah, the month looks really good for you guys, for career especially. You know, and also home changes at home, or, you know, being able to put a lot of time into making the home environment the way that you want it. But then you're going to get a lot of accolades, a lot of praise, a lot of recognition with Venus in your 10th house. So it looks like a great month for you guys. If you found this helpful, feel free to give it a thumbs up. I'd appreciate it. If you'd like to subscribe, please be sure to click the bell so that way you can get notification. Otherwise, you won't get notification of my uploads. So thank you guys so much for listening, and I wish you a fantastic June.